ドジャースの大谷翔平が日本時間4月9日、敵地でのブルージェイズ戦に1番投手兼 DH で二刀流出場し、6回96球を投げて4安打1失点、自責点0、2奪三振、最速 100.1 マイル、約 161.1 キロを記録する好投を見せました。リリーフ陣が打たれて今季2勝目は消えましたが、開幕から2登板連続で防御率 0.00 を維持しています。試合後、ロバーツ監督は、彼は6回を投げ切る方法を見つけ、1失点に抑えた。なかなか素晴らしいことだと話し、大谷翔平の粘り強い投球を高く評価しました。また、地元中継局、スポーツネット LA も試合後、大谷翔平の投球内容を詳しく分析し、その働きを称賛しています。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Hi, John. Yeah, look, you mentioned it. The last time we saw Shohei Ohtani on this mound here in Rogers Center, it was Game 7 of the World Series. Of course, winner take all. Unfortunately, well, let me not say unfortunately, he was on short rest. The results were not necessarily there. Was only able to get through 2 1/3 inning, gave up 3 runs, so did put the team in a hole early. But ultimately, we know what happened by the end of that game. Dave Roberts, though, he talked about Shohei Ohtani, the competitor that he is, and if he's the type of guy who does want to right his wrongs from that Game 7.
I think so. He might not admit that, but, you're always looking for something to kind of fuel that fire. And he was certainly on very short rest in Game 7. I don't think he would change the result, but, his last outing here wasn't memorable as far as just the pitching for performance. So I do think there's something in him to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to kind of pitch well here, and whatever that means or whatever that looks like, we'll see.
What's the dynamic like in a Ohtani start, especially early in the season? What you're looking for, how he's feeling. You've managed some pitchers that have been a little bit more forceful and when they want to stay in a game. Is there any similarities, and what's the dynamic in a start?
I think as a pitcher, when he's pitching, I don't see him. There's a lot of things that he's does to prepare, obviously the hitting and the pitching. He takes a different tone and demeanor, which we've talked about. As far as managing in the game, he's like all pitchers, that the great ones that I've had, they just want to be in the game. But I'm very mindful of the short term, the long term, and he's got to be very convicted for me to, for him to convince me to stay in the game if I don't feel it's the right decision, right? So I think we've been in lockstep, all those times that he's pitched for me.
When it comes to Shohei Ohtani, last year we truly learned that there is a difference. There's Shohei, the DH. You might see him more smiling, a little bit more playful, of course, very serious when he's in the box. And then there's Shohei, the pitcher. Every one of his teammates have said he's truly more of a pitcher than he is a DH, and he is absolutely dialed in, the ultimate competitor when he is on the mound. That being said, he's also very understanding when it comes to how they're looking to maintain him early in the season. Last year, as he was building up, they were very intentional, only going 1 inning at a time. This year, Dave Roberts has made it very clear that they are going to keep him on that 6 to 7 day rest, especially early in the season, to make sure that he's in a good position come October. So come today, as much as he might want to right some of those wrongs from that Game 7 of last year, he is ultimately in an excellent position to start the season. Only 2 spring training outings because he was away from the team with the World Baseball Classic, but considering where he was in his last one, he's fully built up, and so he's in a good spot heading into today, guys.
Looking forward to this latest one from Shohei Ohtani today. Kirsten, thank you very much. And as Kirsten mentioned, Shohei only made 1 Cactus League start, and then he made 1 in the Freeway Series against the Angels. So you might think that there would be some rust in his first start of the regular season last week against the Guardians, James, but that was not the case as we take it right now to the K-Zone to see how he was so effective against Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't think he believes in any kind of rust when he gets out there on the mound. But, yeah, I'd love to see Shohei, start the regular season strong. And right there, you see that sweeper going away, starts like it looks like a strike on the outside corner, dives away. You see right there, getting weak contact, another pitch. A pitch that looks like it could be hit, right? You don't have time to say, oh, am I going to swing, am I not going to swing? You got to react, right? That's hitting. Another pitch right off the plate. And when he does that, he's going to get that weak contact. His stuff is so good. And you see right here, a breaking ball, right? Backdoor. Looks like it might even come down the middle, just, goes away from the hitter right there. And then you see right there the split, keeping it down. Even if a guy hits that pitch, it's probably going to be weak contact. Hey, you know what? Even that pitch, as a hitter, Adrian, sometimes we're like, you know what? I could have hit that pitch, but when it's moving like that so much, I mean, he's got so much depth to it. And when you talk about Yamamoto having so many pitches, you know, Shohei's 4 to 5 pitches as well. The way he mixes them up, the way he shows those guys different looks, you know, I mean, I can't see the Blue Jays squaring up too much tonight.
Yeah, no, Shohei, we know he's got the elite stuff as well. You know, just a true athlete all around the diamond. We know what he does as a hitter, but as a pitcher, he's a guy that likes to go out, and he knows he's on a limited pitch count for him, so he likes to go out and throw strikes, and then he'll follow the off-speed pitches up, like you said, James, with the ones that look like strikes and come out of the zone. The teams that can have success against him is the ones that wait him out a little bit and getting hitters counts. But when he's out there going 0-1 to start the at-bat, it is almost impossible to hit him. So for Shohei, it's great to see him be in great shape going into the second start of the season. He did throw a bunch of simulator games in the WBC, which allowed him to not have any rust here. So he's ready to go. He's excited, and I'm sure he's going to go out there and do what he wants to do to show everybody, you know, kind of get away from that World Series start.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I agree with Dave Roberts. Shohei might not admit it, but he wants to go out there and pitch better than he did in Game 7 the last time he was there at Rogers Center.
And look, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, he's been in Dodger Blue for 2 years now, and we have not been short of many times in which we have been able to witness his greatness in person. We can think back to 40-40 at Dodger Stadium, and it happened to be his 40th home run of the season in a walk-off grand slam fashion. Then we got 50-50, one of the greatest games we've ever seen 2 years ago in Miami. Then you look at last year, it's the NLCS. Game 4, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. It feels like whenever he takes the mound, we are truly witnessing greatness and history happening. Dave Roberts today, he was asked about Shohei Ohtani, the two-way player that he is, and these were the expectations he had from him for a young player coming over from Japan into Major League Baseball, and how he has truly exceeded every single expectation in what he's been able to do.
Nothing for me is different than what he's done on the field. Certainly, he's pitching well. He's healthy. He's performed offensively. I think the thing that has really been the needle mover is what he's done to the game. I think the eyeballs. I think that him coming to the Dodgers, what that's done for us, the game, that's went up a couple levels, if you could even imagine that, which is hard to imagine. But I think that everyone already felt he was the best player, maybe the best player, probably the best player of all time in totality. So he's done nothing to disprove that. But I think that just how he's carried the game as far as his persona with humility, that's something I really, really appreciate.
First came over from Japan, and you guys were recruiting him back then. Did you think something like this kind of level he would get to, of like full-way or two-way play was possible back then?
No, I didn't. I thought he was, no. And I think that that's fair because I didn't see him play much, you know. He was a young kid who had potential, but I don't think anyone saw what he's doing two-way. I mean, there might be some people, but this is a pipe dream, really.
When you talk to guys just about Shohei Ohtani and what he's able to do, first I should say not only are these guys in awe with some of the things he does, whether on the mound, at the plate, but it truly is a testament. Yes, there is, of course, natural talent in what Shohei can do, but how hard he works and shows up every single day. He is someone who's adamant in the weight room, taking care of his body, whether it's just kind of going out to bullpens, getting a feel for his pitches, the work he's doing in the cage. Even if you look at his last outing, he talked to the media just how he felt on the mound, of course, getting through 6 innings of work, only giving up 1 hit. He felt like he was in a good spot as a pitcher, but he was working through a few things mechanically when it came to being in the box. Of course, we saw him take BP at Dodger Stadium before this team went on the road, and since then, it truly has been a difference in who he is at the plate. Of course, we're seeing the long ball, the extra base hits. So he comes into this one, honestly, in a very good spot. And so Dave Roberts said, of course, they will push him when they believe it's time, but also going to find ways to manage him because ultimately they are for sure thinking the long game when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, guys.
One of the things that separates the good pitchers from the great pitchers, as you guys know, is when you don't have your best stuff, you're able to go out there and put up zeros, James. And Shohei Ohtani clearly was fighting his commands all day long, but he gets through 6 innings. Yeah, he only had a couple of strikeouts, but he did not allow an earned run. through these 6 innings.
No, I mean, we got to give this guy a little grace too, right? He is the leadoff hitter. He is on base a lot, right? He's drawing walks. He's doing all these kind of things. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't look like it looks like maybe his energy is a bit down. I don't know if it is, but he is a battler. He is a gamer. He wants the ball. I mean, guys get on base sometimes right there. You see another ground ball out. He was keeping the ball down so good today. I mean, you see right there, another pitch, weak contact, right? And that's what you want. I mean, I don't know what he's going to say after the game as far as how he felt. I know it wasn't a lot of strikeouts, but he didn't need that. And like we talk about having longevity, right? About him going, longer in games. I'll take those groundouts all day.
Yeah, 100%. You go 6 innings complete, 96 pitches, and get through the lineup of the Blue Jays that put the ball in play, you've had a great outing. I mean, that Blue Jays lineup, they can hit it out of the ballpark. They put the ball in play. They battle. And that's why he only had the 2 strikeouts. But he only had 1 walk, so he was attacking the strike zone. And, like I said, they fight at bats. They foul pitches off. They do those kind of things. And what he was able to do, go 6 innings, 96 pitches, that is incredible. He had a great day on the mound. And, I would be, patting him in the back, saying, great job. You did everything you needed to do on the mound. Great job.
Yeah, 10 ground ball outs, 6 infield pop-ups, and 2 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani. Nothing really to the outfield this entire game. Right now, let's head back to the booth. Check in one final time with Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser.
Well, the Dodgers fall a little bit short of winning this game and sweeping this series and having a perfect road trip.
Yep. Today, the offense just really didn't fire on all cylinders. They're a little short with runners in scoring position. No extra base hits. That means no long balls, and that's been a large part of their offense.
Still a really good trip. They go 5-1 on this road trip, and it'd be good to get back home with the Rangers and the Mets coming in.
It will be. It'd be nice to get Emmett Sheehan going, nice to get Sasaki going, but the other 4 starters have really carried the ball.
All right, the Dodgers head back home. Off day tomorrow, Friday night. They welcome in Texas for the first of 3.
Shohei, when you look at just how you were navigating through their lineup, the pitch count got up early. Did it feel like today was a bit of a grind for you personally?
球数も上がってきて、今回の登板はちょっと努力が必要な登板になったんですかねと。
そうですね、出来は良くなかったですけど、責任イニングと球数はしっかり投げれたので、そこは唯一良かったのかなと思います。
Yeah, didn't really feel great going into the game. Made some adjustments and finished strong at the end.
We don't often see you with just kind of ice. Obviously, you are in your recovery post-game, but how are you feeling after this outing today?
登板直後、アイシングやってますけども、状態はどうでしょうかと。
いや、状態は悪くはないかなとは。投げ心地がやっぱ良くなかったので。遠征の最後なので、多少疲れはありますけど、その中でも、それなりに投げてたのが良かったなと思います。
Yeah, it didn't feel that great. It's the end of the long road trip, so in that sense, I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm recovering and feeling better.
Why was it important for you to put Miguel's father's initials on your hat today?
右のお父さんの帽子につけた理由としては。
本人もね、もちろん辛いとは思いますけど、それでもこうやってグラウンドに来て、プレーして素晴らしいプレーもありましたし、みんなでチームとしてね、支えていければいいんじゃないかなと思います。
I'm sure it's been a tough day for Miggy, and he's showed up today, made some really good plays, and we just want to make sure that he's just well supported.
Shohei, offensively, where are you at? Do you feel like you're getting closer to more consistency, or do you feel like you're starting to find something?
バッティングの調子は取り戻している感じですか？
前進はしてるかなとは思いますけど、毎年シーズンの最初はこんなもんなのかなっていう、いつも通りなのかなっていう印象かなと思います。
It's going in the right direction. Just overall, like in my career, I think April's been okay. So I think it's where it's supposed to be.
Clarify, you weren't feeling great. Was that more like fatigue, or was there something off with your delivery that you were looking to sort of correct and address there?
フォーム的なことなのか、何か体調的なことなのか、今日のしっくりこない理由としては。
どちらもではないですかね。遠征の最後で、デーゲーム寄りのゲームだったので、そういう意味では疲れは少し、みんなあるとは思いますし、そのせいなのかは分からないですけど、投げ心地が良くなかったので、そこは次の登板までにしっかりと見直したいなと思ってます。
Hard to say, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think we're all, for players, we usually feel the fatigue at the end of the road trip. I'm not sure if that was the main cause, but I want to make sure that I'm addressing, if any, some mechanical changes.
These first couple of weeks, seems like you've been getting walked a lot. Do you feel like you're being pitched around more than you have in the past? And if so, how, I guess, much better have you gotten exercising patience?
フォアボールが結構多くて、相手のピッチャーの攻め方っていうのがちょっと変わってきてるっていうところで、そういうのにも対応できているって感じですか。
そうですね。フォアボールは好きなので、はい。くれる分にはもらいますし、ストライクに来れば振るし、シンプルにもう何も考えずに作業だと思って打席に立っていればいいのかなと思ってます。
I try to really stay with a simple approach, and if they're not throwing me strikes, I'm happy to take a walk. And if they are throwing strikes, my job is to swing at them.
All right, so Shohei Ohtani making his second regular season start of the year. We remember he only made 2 starts during the entire spring, and he talked about it a little bit. Agent said he didn't feel great before this start, but he was able to make some adjustments and finish strong. What did you see from him today?
Yeah, I mean, I personally thought he'd had a great game. Let's go to the K-zone and show some of the great pitches that he was able to throw today and execute. And for me, just his ability to just throw pitches in the strike zone or pitches that look like strikes and fall out of the strike zone. Right here, we have a slider that's up in the zone a little that we get a ground ball on. And then right here, you start seeing fastballs right in the down in the way, exactly where you want it to be. Great pitch, ground ball. Then again, you get another fastball up in the way, exactly where you want it against a hitter like Clement. You know, we know he's going to put the ball in play. He's not a big power guy, so you want to go up in the zone against him. And then you start seeing the great sliders right here. Perfect pitch. Looks like a fastball down the middle, maybe a fastball up middle, ends up being a fastball or a slider down and then a sweeper down in. Then the split. Looks like it's going to be middle in fastball, great pitch. Ends up being a splitter down in the zone. And again, Ernie Clement. Remember that high fastball? Now this pitch looks like a high fastball, ends up being a sweeper away. Just great pitches, well execution, nothing down the middle. And then we talk about, the question was it a grind out there? He went 6 innings, didn't give up an earned run. If that is a grind, I'll take a grind every single outing from him. And if he wasn't feeling great going into it, he had a great outing. He went 96 pitches, 60 strikeouts, or 60 strikes. Mm-hmm. He didn't get a ton of strikeouts, but he also only walked 1 hitter. So even if he wasn't feeling great, even if his misses were not where he might miss by a little bit, maybe he was missing by a little bit more, and so that felt like a grind. But he had an incredible outing against a great lineup. For me, this was a great outing. He still hasn't given up an earned run all season, so 2 outings, 6 innings each outing, not an earned run. To me, this is an outing that I'm like, I want that every single time out of you. Yep. So for me, grind, no grind, whatever it was, keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's my Cy Young pick for this year. I think I said it another show, but he's my guy. I feel like he's going to give you what you need. And as hitters, you know this guy is a strikeout pitcher. So these hitters are going into the game plan saying, hey, we got to be swinging, guys. We got to be swinging. And guess what? Ohtani notices that. He knows that. Will Smith knows that. So, I mean, for him to execute his game plan, I thought he did a great job overall. Yeah, maybe when he missed, okay, it looked bad, right? But when you're a power pitcher and you throw with that much movement, you're going to miss bad sometimes, right? It's just, that's what it is. But for him to be able to get those ground ball outs like he did today and give us length, right? He wants to be a guy that can go 6 or 7 innings, right? At least at the beginning of the season, maybe later in the season, go a complete game. So I thought he did a great job of what he was trying to do when he saw those hitters, obviously putting the ball in play. And, the hitters last year in the World Series, they were a better hitting team than the Dodgers were. So he knows these guys can hit. He kept the fastball down, and he did a great job of mixing the off-speed in.
Yeah, I think he was great. The 1 run that scored was an error. If that run doesn't score, maybe he's able to go longer in the game because that accumulated to the pitch count as well. So, again, to me, I think this is a great outing. I will take that out of him every single time.
You go 6 innings, you get 10 ground ball outs, 6 infield pop-ups, couple strikes. There were no fly ball outs in this game. To me, that sounds like a great day for any starting pitcher.
Yeah, and that's why for me, when the question was it a grind? I was like, okay, I need a little more context to a grind because
Shohei standards.
Shohei standards.
Maybe I'll take that.
Dave, first just with Shohei Ohtani, he talked about how, today did feel like a grind for him. What were you seeing just from how he started this one and how he was able to navigate through the line, push through, and really kind of end on a higher note when it came to his outing?
It was a grind. You can see it. He just didn't feel synced up with his delivery. You can see by the misses. He was fighting himself, the entire outing. But obviously, the compete comes into play, the stuff comes into play, and he found a way to get through 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and pretty impressive. To be quite honest, with given how he felt, and you're not going to feel great every day, but to his credit, he found a way to give us length and exit with a lead.
Did it feel like this game as a whole was just a bit of a grind offensively, defensively, as well as on the mound?
I thought, early on, obviously, we let Cease off the hook, getting doubled off. And, he didn't have his stuff early. And we gave him an opportunity to get back into the game. Gave those guys life. And then, right there, then it was like we had some opportunities to get some hits and we couldn't cash in. And, after Shohei's outing, there were some bad walks by the guys in the pen. And, unfortunately, they led to runs.
Do you think if Will had to do it all over again, he would pocket the ball instead of throwing it to second with Schneider at third in the 8th?
No. I think that, it was a ball that I know that, Miggy would love to have back and hold on to. That's baseball. That happens. And there's no one more sure-handed than Miggy. But, yeah, I thought it was the right play. The guy wasn't going, and if he holds on to it, he's out.
What did you think of Miggy's defense all day?
Fantastic. He played great defense, and getting the Sanchez ball and getting Guerrero out at third base on the tag play. The ball too is coming in. I mean, there's just a lot of plays that he made that kept us in the ball game. So he played a heck of a ball game.
How big was it for Blake to come in that spot and be able to navigate around Guerrero to get those other 2 batters? Does that seem familiar to the guy he was a couple of years ago?
It does. It does. And even the stuff is up. And I think I saw some 97s last night. And for him to be the fireman, come in and get a lefty out or a righty out to limit the damage, he gave us a chance. And so that's, more of who we've seen for many years.
Are you happy with this road trip, winning 5 out of 6?
Absolutely. I think that if we'd started this road trip and said, would we bank 5-1? Absolutely. So, but I think, when you win the first 5, you want to get greedy and win the last one. But yeah, it's still a really good road trip, and we get an off day and get home and, get back to it.
Andy's been so good as of late, just the strikeouts today. What did you find that was missing for him offensively?
I don't know. I think that, I think Cease made some really good pitches to him. It's really, when that guy's in the strike zone, he's as good as anyone, and he just seemed to make good pitches against Andy and Teo, and, he's still off to a great start, but I guess it's just one of those days that we probably won't see again, 4 strikeouts.
Can you walk us through what happened in the first inning, where there was a little bit of miscommunication or conversation about the amount of time that Shohei is getting in between innings? I know we saw something like this during the World Series here, but it seemed like Springer was asking the umpire, how much time is he getting? He seemed a little bit frustrated. What was the dynamic there?
You know what? I think just talking about the World Series, obviously they were a little frustrated about, how long Shohei takes, in between innings. But if he's on the bases, there's got to be some grace, which I think the umpires are trying to give him. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the other side, you're trying to rush him as much as possible and treat him like any other pitcher. But the truth is that he's different, and so. But I understand their gripe.
Shohei said he had some fatigue because of the end of the road trip, and it was kind of day game-ish. Is that but you guys gave enough day off. But is that something team is going to consider next outing or following?
Yeah. I think that we've always done a good job of giving him ample time to get ready. So yeah, he'll get a week off for his next outing.
When it came to Shohei Ohtani today, he was saying that he did feel like he was grinding, just kind of on the mound. What were you seeing from him, especially just kind of how the stuff was playing and how he had to kind of work through those at-bats?
Yeah, I thought he pitched well. I think it was more just grinding through his command. He was kind of all over the place early. He kind of settled in later in those later innings. Yeah, stuff looked good. Just kind of the command today, which happens. I thought he did a good job competing, and limited him to 1 run.
Did it feel like just as you were kind of even with him, the bullpen, that in general this game kind of just felt like a grind when it came to the pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean they're a good team. We kind of put it to them the last few days, but they're a good team. They put together good at bats. Their pitchers were throwing the ball well today, kept them in it, and yeah.
When you have a situation with runners on the corner, like in the 8th, like kind of what's the read on those plays, and was that kind of, you look back on like the right decision and just kind of the wrong result there?
Yeah, I mean we talk about it all the time. That play is called from the dugout. We thought he could get an out right there. I've been big out in that situation, obviously. Yeah, a little better throw would have got him.
Ohtani, is he a true unicorn in the sport?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think there would be other people that can come along and hit and pitch. I probably think there probably were some other people that could have did it, but I don't think at this guy's level. Like,
Yeah.
he's the best baseball player I've ever seen. And I said that. I saw him play 1 inning of 1 game, and he hit a ground ball to shortstop to Didi, and he beat it out at first base. And I was like, this guy's the biggest, the fastest. He hits the ball the furthest. He throws the ball the hardest. You guys remember that guy with y'all little league when y'all was 12 years old? Whatever his name was, the best player? That's Ohtani.
At the highest level.
At the highest level.
Is it, I mean, and this is your sport, is it too early to say he is or will be the greatest of all time?
I said it the first day.
He's here.
He's the greatest baseball player to ever play.
Really?
And yes, absolutely. And I'm a huge Barry Bonds fan. I grew up out here. Barry's the GOAT. But Barry can't go out and throw 7 fucking innings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is basically Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that to me, sets him apart. But Barry is a close second for me.
Yeah.
Growing up out here. But no, it's Ohtani for sure.
Japanese
for sure.
influx, are they just training different?
No, I mean, I think it's just fundamentals, right? Like if you talk about European basketball.
Yeah.
Like they do everything right. And even if you watch teams at a young age, everything is fundamentally like locked in. So they come over here and it's, they do everything the right way and it makes the game easier for them. And I think now you're starting to see like power and slug from these guys, where at first it was, it was more, the Ichiros and those type of guys. But now, I mean, you got Ohtani and you got, the guy that came from the White Sox, I can't think of his name, but you got real, sluggers that are coming from over there that can play this game. So it's fun to watch.
How much credit does Matsui and Ichiro deserve?
Oh, 1,000. I mean, I think if you asked Ohtani, he would say Ichiro's the
Got
GOAT.
that one right, huh? That's who you think?
I think so. I think so. I think if you asked Ohtani, he would say Ichiro is his inspiration. I have no idea. I've never heard him say that.
He took the game by storm when Ichiro came over.
And
bro.
he didn't
strike out.
But he was a 330 hitter with, all the hits and stuff, but he could have easily hit 280 and hit 40 homers every year. You know what I mean? Like, so 4,000 hits in his career. I mean, unbelievable player. So I think he kind of kicked down the door for what we saw as Japanese, hitters. He was really the first one.
First one.